When you hear the word scam, what do you think of? Stay tuned. This episode of the Dollar Saving Divas podcast is brought to you by renttherunway.com.
You'll find more than 200,000 pieces and 400 designers in the Rent the Runway closet. For any event you might be attending, formal, cocktail, or festive, you can get 4 or 8 day designer rentals for a fraction of the price. Anything you want, one flat price.
And when you click the link on our Dollar Saving Divas Facebook page, you'll save even more and help keep this podcast free.
Look great and save money too at renttherunway.com.
Well, today we've got part 2 of our series with Kip Morse, the CEO and president of the Better Business Bureau in Central Ohio. Kip, thanks for being with us again today. And I think today we're going to talk a little bit more about the Millennials, which we had no idea they were the ones really being scammed the most.
That was surprising.
Yeah, I think we're seeing so much more of that, and for us, we want to make sure that we're very relevant to the millennials, and I think this is one of those areas where we can be of great assistance.
So what are the scams that are specifically targeting millennials?
Well, they're going to be going to a lot of the festivals, and this is festival season. And so a lot of times with the festivals, you're seeing ticket scams. You're seeing different offers for coupons and benefits. And so they're getting those by email. And so you quickly say, oh, yeah, I'm planning on going to that festival. Oh, look at that. I can get a cheap ticket. I can get a ticket for meals and drinks and so forth. And they're just scammers that have come into town, and they know the festivals are happening, and so they're gonna play on again what's hot in one's mind, and hopefully do it in such a way that that you're not going to think twice, and you're going to try to act quickly and save some money when in fact you're going to lose money.
Well, now that summertime is here, there's a lot of festivals going on, so I guess you just got to make sure that you're. If it says it's half price, it's probably not half price,
right,
because
good to be true.
They're paying the entertainment and those flat fees, so
yeah,
you're not going to be able to discount like that.
Yeah, the same concerns kind of permeate all the different scams. That they're going to prey on emotions, and they're going to prey on you not doing your homework, and so that's why millennials are more targeted, because they're moving so quickly on all the tech resources, and so and they're more trusting of individuals and folks, and so they're going to not do what they need to do from a research perspective. I hate using the word research because it sounds like it's work and it takes time.
Yeah.
But it's going to save you a lot of money down the road.
Well, I remember when I worked downtown across from Nationwide Arena, and they're always, the big name entertainment is always there, and they're always the scalpers down there with their tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually know of some people that some kids were going to a concert and they picked up some tickets from there, and they thought, oh wow, this is a really good deal. It was fake because they barcode them and things, and then they said, sorry, this is a fake ticket.
Yeah, I know somebody that their husband's ticket was good and hers was bad.
Oh, I hope he was nice enough to give her the ticket.
Well, I think they were with another couple and their tickets were good, and so the two of them just went down the street, had a couple drinks, and picked up their friends at the end of the concert. But no, it was bad. So you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, that.
Another big one for millennials is the apartments. I have a friend that just bought a unit and was down there refurbishing it, and people kept walking up to the step, and he finally walked out and he goes, "What are you guys doing? What do you want?" And they say, "Well, I actually I put an offer in on this house," and he says, "I haven't put it out there for rent." And they said, "Well, this picture is online on Craigslist, and I was getting ready to send them my first month's rent." And he said,
goodness.
It's not out there. I just purchased the building. So they follow the buildings that are being purchased. They jump on it. They start sending it out there before the person lists it. And next thing you know, you sent money off to a bogus homeowner.
So how would somebody know if they're looking on Craigslist or wherever it happens to be listed? How do you check to make sure that that's a good offer?
Well, you want to meet the person face to face, probably at the location. But even more so, you got to look for some of the red flags. If they're looking, if they want the money wired, and transferred to them. If they are asking for any kind of strange ways of receiving it, like gift cards, they use those all the time. And a lot of times you're thinking, okay, gift card for the first month's for the deposit or something like that. Those are red flags. And you want to do a little bit of research to figure out exactly who does own that building. And if it's not the individual that's the name that they've given you, then you've got some concerns.
Well, I've heard of people even like they'll take, like if a house is for sale, they'll actually take that description, if it's with a realtor or for sale by owner or something, and actually take those pictures and make their own site and actually like sell houses over and over again.
Oh yeah. With the fake websites, it's just incredible what can happen. I mean, they look real. I mean, you have to make sure that they've got the secure code up there in the URL. But that's a big problem because these websites these days, it only takes hours to put together a really slick one.
Well, I'm never buying another house. I'm just sticking in the first house I've ever had that I bought. We're staying in it.
Yeah. The other thing that the BBB can do for you is if you're not savvy enough to kind of research and evaluate who set that website up. We just had, last week we researched 3 websites that were all set up out of Panama. And, then people were kind of wondering whether they were legitimate. So, we were able to find out that, it's not coming from where they think it is. So call us and we can help you out in that way.
There's also a roommate scam too. Isn't there? Can you talk about
same
that?
type of thing where you're trying to, you haven't met an individual. It's the old problem of it's not face to face.
Right.
And so the roommate, might send you, $300 and it was only $200 for the first month. Oh, would you send me that $100 back? And then you write it back into that fake check scam that we talked about earlier. And so there's different ways of trying to extract money from you. And so the red flags are the checks and the gift cards and the wiring of money and that type of thing.
Well, I see here also spring break and travel scams. Okay, I raised my hand. I was one of those spring break ones when I was in college. It was a great package deal. We got to go to something like Mexico or the Bahamas or something. The pictures, it was rated a 4-star place. It was all inclusive. This is when it was 18 to drink, so I was legal. So we were, it's college. We were all excited. It was going to be like $500 for a week. And it was like, oh my God, $500. I can do this for a week. I'm going, out of the country. We got there. Well, needless to say, it was not a 4-star hotel.
Right.
Their idea of a 4-star hotel, I would classify as a dump.
Right.
They actually had so many, Leslie, you'll appreciate this. Remember that stuff called Nair that you spray?
Yeah.
That, the shaving thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, one of the girls there were 8 of us in this room. Of course, there were only supposed to be 4 in the room.
Tell me you had to use it in the shower?
No, we had to use it. You're not going to believe. We actually had to use it on the walls because there were bugs. That's how bad this was. And of course, we're out of the country. We have no place to go and no money because this was all inclusive, and we only had $500 a piece.
Took the hair right off those bugs.
Yes, it did. So needless
you
to
were going
say,
to tell me some terrible story about hair in the shower.
no, this is worse. Believe me, the Nair story. So, but at the end of the week, everybody had hairy legs because we used the Nair on the walls. But those travel scams and those spring break ones, those can be really, really bad.
Yeah, you want to make sure that don't trust the websites, call the hotel, and then even after you call the hotel, that's where the customer reviews really come into play. And we know that some customer reviews can be fake as well, so you want to look for a lot of them. You want to review and kind of get a sense of what the sentiment is for that hotel. And again, those are all things that can be evaluated online and call the Better Business Bureau, and we can look it up and see what the experience is at those locations.
Yeah. So it's great. So if somebody has a doubt, they should contact you. But what if they've already been scammed? Is there anything they can do at that point?
Well, they should also contact us. They should go to the scam tracker and fill out the information. It's not, we don't ask for a lot of information. We want to know what the offer was, how it took place, how much money was lost. We jump on those on within the hour and see whether it's law enforcement that we need to get involved. And if nothing else, you're going to protect a lot of other individuals that are going to see that that's a scam, right. And then we can put that information in there. And
that's important, is getting the word out so nobody else falls victim.
Yeah, that's critical. All these scams kind of change from day to day, and so we try to stay on top of them and see what the newest angle is that they're trying to work.
Yeah. And I know we said this before, but there's no reason to be embarrassed, right? I know people sometimes are humiliated and they've been taken advantage of and they don't want to tell anybody, but really it's...
Yeah,
happen
no,
to anyone.
It's not.
If it can happen to Kelly, it can happen to anyone.
I was just going to say, it could happen to me. It could happen to any stupid person. I mean, I admit it. I was stupid.
It's happened to everybody, and they just don't want to admit it. To some extent, we've all fallen for something, and certainly the important thing is that they are experts at their craft. Quick story: we went out to a house. The lady had $40,000 on her credit card. She had all sorts of these award junk things in this room. We stopped her from giving another check to the UPS. Before we walked out the door, we said, okay, now never answer the phone. Don't talk to them. She looked at us and she said, can I just talk to them? And if I don't give them any money? And so the psychology of it, that individual would call them up and remind her to take her medicine. They would remind her to do the different things during the day. She didn't have anybody else to talk to. And so that was a friend of hers that she trusted. And they might have done that 4 or 5 times before they asked for a penny. But then they took $40,000 from them. So, from a psychology perspective, we all have to be on the lookout for family members that might be, susceptible to this type of a scam. But certainly don't feel bad that you fell for it.
I know you don't feel bad, but you can't feel like you're smarter than they are either. And you think, I'm going to catch them. You're not going to catch them, but maybe you can catch them. The FBI can catch them, but you as an individual aren't going to be able to. I'm going to listen to them. And I'm going to get their information. Then I'm going to go find them. They're not even in this country, most likely.
Right, they're not in the country, and like you said, with the FBI. All of our data is then put into a consumer sentinel database that the FBI uses, and the FTC and a lot of different other organizations, so that they can compile all of the information and get a good sense of where are they? Where is it taking place? Where out of the country is it taking place? So the Irs scam that everybody saw, that people were being threatened, and they thought an IRS agent was going to come out there and throw them in jail.
We got a lot of those, didn't you too, Leslie?
Oh, it was I think 35% of all the on our scam tracker for a short period of time. That diminished down to a very small amount because of a bust made by the FBI. So that it is critical to get the information out there so that they can make those busts.
That's great. Well, this is great information. Thanks, Kip. We appreciate it.
Yep,
absolutely.
This episode of the Dollar Saving Divas podcast is brought to you by renttherunway.com.
You'll find more than 200,000 pieces and 400 designers in the Rent the Runway closet. For any event you might be attending, formal, cocktail, or festive, you can get 4 or 8 day designer rentals for a fraction of the price. Anything you want, one flat price.
And when you click the link on our Dollar Saving Divas Facebook page, you'll save even more and help keep this podcast free.
Look great and save money too at renttherunway.com.
Thanks for listening to the Dollar Saving Divas. If you have ideas for an upcoming episode, we would love to hear from you. Just head to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Dollar Saving Divas CBUS and share your comments. Our podcast is available on iTunes, iHeartMedia, or your favorite podcast player. Thanks again for listening.
Circle270media.com